I was thinking, what is the best way to do this video? And I realized there's no best way. I could rent out a podcast studio and then it would look more professional. But that's not me. I don't want to have to plan ahead 2 or 3 weeks in advance to record a video. I don't care about that. Otherwise, if I want to plan ahead, I become an actor. No problem. Could become an actor. Actually, I just came back from China. And in China, every time they see me, because of how I look, they talk about this first. And they say, "Ni kanchi like Tom Cruise, ni kanchi like Tom Cruise," which means you look like Tom Cruise, but made in China. And I know they can't know actually the difference between me and Tom Cruise. Otherwise, they will realize that I look way better. And let's get serious a little bit. It's not going to be that much. I'm just going to show you one proof, I guess. This is the Stripe account of one of my companies. And the volume of sales, the net volume of sales, we are 14.5 million. This is Hong Kong dollars. Don't always believe what you see on the screen. So in US dollars, that's around $2 million. Now, how I made this in my 20s, today I'm 31 years old. So that's a little bit before. And actually, I made most of my money in investing, but I don't want to show off all my portfolio and things like that. I think it will not be really useful for anyone. And also, you have to understand, I'm French. So yes, I will be your most French YouTuber, the most handsome, and also, someone told me after my last video, the most punchable face. It's crazy, right? How could my face be so attractive that someone would be willing to touch it, even if it's with their fist? I must be the Mona Lisa of faces, I don't know. Now, but because I'm French, it's quite hard for us to talk about money. You have to understand that making money in France is one of the worst things you could do. You're going to get taxed like a motherfucker, and then people are going to hate you. If you create jobs on top of that, wow, this is too much. Really bad rep to be an entrepreneur in France, and I grew up with this mindset. And I guess my entrepreneurial journey was trying to unlearn what I learned before. So I'm going to try to make it quick and to give you all the major steps. I was a school failure. So when I was like 13, 14, they say, "Antoine, you're not going to do anything in your life. You are una pezzo de mierda. Nothing gets in your head. You're just stupid." I was like, fine. That's okay, I guess. No, I was pretty depressed at that time. But anyway, things went on and I managed to get some diplomas. And actually, because I was stupid, my ego pushed me to like, I want to prove them that I'm not that stupid. I went on to get a master's degree in management of IT and web. So information systems, that's all database and stuff like that. So basically, kind of something that helped me to understand what was happening in crypto. But let's get to it. How a normal French guy that became really handsome, of course, started out of nothing in a really small village, a small town, and then conquered the world, if we call Tinder the world. How did I make the money? Let's get into that. So I made money two ways. First with the investing, and the second way is by teaching people how to do investment. So I had actually a French channel that did pretty well. We did 80,000 subscribers, not bad. And if you check actually in the videos, it's pretty easy because I journal everything. So I think like my first videos of Bitcoin, they're like 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago. The first one on how to buy it, that was that one, a bit more than 6 years ago. And you can see for how much I bought. And you can see actually in it for how much I bought the Bitcoin and what it was the price. But anyway, it was pretty cheap at that time in June 2017. And I loved crypto. I was so into it. The technological aspect, I loved it. The way it was working and how to get out of banking systems. Because my first euros that I made as an entrepreneur were with banks. I was reviewing online banks on my channel, on the blog, and this took off. Actually, at that time, I was working in a company, you may know it, Louis Vuitton. That's the handbag. So I guess most of the non-French speakers, I can't blame you guys, they would say Louis Vuitton. So I was working there in the IT department, and I was doing some project management. We can go in details, but basically my task at that time was to try to combine all the database that they had worldwide. So like Japan, Russia, Europe, like all those database were per country, then per region, and you had to put them together. But the thing is that we were working on systems that like so old, AS400, IBM. If you don't know, that's simply some computers that shows some green letters on the black screen. So I was doing this as a job, and I was, I guess, around 21, 22, maybe 23 at that time. And I was doing my master degree at the same time. So I was getting paid by the company, and they pay my studies. And that's how I got my master degree. But also that's what made me start my entrepreneurial journey and my investment journey. So when I started this, long story short, they kind of fucked me twice, or 3 times actually, by telling me that I would go to another position. It didn't happen. So I decided to launch my own website, which is Russelibontuyo, and the channel that you saw as well around this. Now, I started to make money. I did a video about it, like how I worked with Uber, how I made money on that. I'm not going to go in through that because I think that's like a really good side hustle or a really good way to start. But then there will be a full-on other video. Anyway, started to invest in crypto. I waited, and that's it. That's how I made my million. End of the video. Let's go a bit more in detail. Crypto is not that easy. I started to invest little by little, and then what I realized is like, oh, there's tons of other coins. I started to go into those other coins. The crazy thing is that I didn't invest the first time I heard about Bitcoin. Why? Because I was broke at that time. I was 21 in New York, and I think probably for the first time, Bitcoin reached $1, and I saw it on the French blog or wherever it was. But I didn't have any money, and I didn't have the right mindset as well. So I didn't invest in that at that time. But when I heard about it again during my studies, my master degree, we did a presentation together with my friend. Like we translate the whole white paper of Bitcoin, showed people how it was working, didn't invest in it yet. And then when the price started to rise up, decided to invest. And we were still at the beginning. We had an amazing bull run. Bitcoin went to up to 20,000. And those moments were actually something happened because I started to invest into all those altcoins. And I remember well, I was in Colombia at that time because I did this nomadic journey, you know, like after my studies, I'm like, okay, fuck it. I launched my company that was already making money with what I said, the banking and stuff. Started to travel the world, and I was in Colombia at the end of 2017. And one day, my friends, they asked me, now, do you want to go there? We're going to check that there. And I say no, because I wanted to check the crypto market. And that's how I realized there's a problem in my strategy. So I decided to automate it. And I find a way where you could have the top 20 of the altcoins in one investment. This did pretty well. And then after the crash of the bull market like wiped out a big part of the gains. I was not ready for this. Of course, being young and not experienced in this, my ego was like, nah, don't worry, that is going to continue. It did not continue, and it crashed. And at that time, as I was making videos, some people were asking me like, oh, can you teach us? How do you do it? So I realized some online courses. Now, I know for some people, online courses have a bad rep because you're selling shovels, and maybe you should not sell shovels. I don't know. What I know is that my courses, they helped a lot of people. Of course, some people didn't like it. It happened. It's normal. And some people think that if they buy the course, then it's risk-free and they're going to make money and not have to do anything. But I can say that as today, I know that more than 3 people became millionaires because of what I taught them. And then I'm not going to take all the credits. They took the risk, but they started with me, and with their knowledge, they managed to go to the other level. And that's what I am the most proud of, The rest, I don't fucking care. Like how much I make, I don't really care. Like that's the same. Like I never came in this world to think I need to make a bunch of money. I don't really care about like the money stages. You don't see me wearing a Rolex. I could buy cash some Lamborghinis today. I don't do it. My office looks shit. I don't fucking care. It's something that's it doesn't attract me that much. I'm just not into that. But I love the game. I love to create. I love to help people. And if I can make money with it, then fuck yeah, I would do it. Just like, it's the best for me. Like when you start to work with some people, like today with Handsome Finance, like I hired some people to help me with research. So we are like crunching the data together, and that speeds me up. And I think like that's the beauty of it. Now, of course, people will say, oh yeah, selling the shoulders, but the world is made about people selling shoulders. If you work in constructions, why you're selling shovels as well? You're building a building for someone else. So there's like a lot of misconceptions around it. However, there's like some downsides about selling courses or coaching and things like that, is that it requires you a lot of efforts from your side. Like you think, oh, I do it one time and then it's gone. But now, because you're going to need to do some support, you're going to really try. I mean, I try to always get the best for them. So I need to upgrade it and things like that. At some point, I was fucking tired of it. I was tired of that part. It was a good journey and I learned a lot. Did a lot of marketing as well. I was crushing it on YouTube ads. But then, I don't know, there was something missing. And that thing missing was that I was focused on the French market, where I was not living in France anymore. None of my friends that I hang out with are French most of the time. So I felt like, I don't know how to say, but kind of like in a jail. Like I can't grow out of it. And that's how, like, at the end of last year, I launched Handsome Finance. But yeah, the money, I made it in investing. Let's get back to making the money. I'm sorry. If I get into sideways, you say, Antoine, stop getting sideways. We're here to know how you made the money in crypto. So I not lost actually. I made money during the first bull market, but then on paper, it went high and then went low, but it was still higher than what I bought it for. And then I didn't give up on crypto. I continued to research, continue to do stuff around this. Then, of course, the next bull market came, and we were pretty big on DeFi at that time. When I say we, it's me and some people that studies with me, and then that my community, things like that. Like I say we. And that's where like some of them make like tons of money. Like one with Matic make, I don't know how much, but he killed it. And now he sold his company and he's going to travel the world with his family. That's fucking beautiful. So the DeFi was like the next bull market, the 21, 22, something like that. And that one, I did the things a bit different. So instead of going full on only altcoins, I had a big bag in Bitcoins, but we had an algorithm that was developed by my friend Scott that was picking all the coins, all the icons that were pumping. So I was DeFi plus this algorithm that worked pretty well, and it went up. But he was supposed to be able to say when it will be the top and then make some money on the way down. I mean, just protect all the money before it goes down. And it didn't. So what it did though is to send a signal that the alt season was off, so we could get back into Bitcoin. I got back into Bitcoin, and that saved me from most of the loss, because Bitcoin went to 68, 69, and then went down to $20 and even $15,000. However, the other altcoins went even further down. Anyway, long story short, you wait 2 years later and then you're rich again. So it's really weird to be in crypto that long, because I never knew a normal job per se. Like, I mean, I worked at Vuitton for 2 years doing this work and study program where it's like 3 days at the company, 2 days at school. And I was like, this corporate world is not ready for me. I need something that goes faster and I want freedom. Like what I did and everything I did for me was not for the numbers on the bank account or to show some chicks that I make money. I don't care about that. I don't think that's useful at all as well. Like I've been in the game for ages and then these guys would think that the most important thing to impress a woman is money, but it's not. I had the same situation where I was not making that much money or actually not showing it at all and making a lot of money. And for girls, it did not change anything. It did not change anything at all. It's more about what's inside you than what's inside your wallet. Now, most of them will try to believe that because that's the game and how it's framed. And then they say, oh, they skip the matrix. But they're kind of in the matrix themselves as well, as the money rules their stages. And that's really dangerous, particularly if you're in crypto, if you let money ruling your stages, because at some point you're like the best in the world. And then just after that, you're like just a dork who like crypto stuff. So now we started to be the cool people again. That's the good thing about it. But yeah, I don't know. Me, like what makes me thriving and what I love to do is, for example, I do stand-up comedy. This is something I started 2-3 years ago, loved it. I'm doing it in English. I did some in Chinese. So yeah, during all those years, I learned a few languages. I speak 5 languages now. I speak French, I speak English, I speak Chinese, I speak Spanish, and I speak Thai. Now, as you may have noticed, I don't speak any of those properly, but I can still do some stuff around it. And I feel a bit stupid that I didn't start to do video in English before because I thought like the language would stop me. However, it didn't. It didn't. And what's make me super excited is always on-chain analysis. And it's been this since the previous bull market where I was starting to run my own node on Ethereum to have all the transactions myself, or the Bitcoin node actually, sorry. It was a Bitcoin node, and learning Python to be able to make those data myself and checking what was going on. At that time, not much was going on for on-chain analysis, and also because of centralized exchange like FTX and Binance, where they were like attracting all the customers, then we had less and less data analysis that we could do. However, the crash of FTX was good for that because people realized that fuck those centralized exchange, and then we're going to go decentralized exchange, and that's where we can do a lot of the analysis. So now what I'm doing, I think, is much higher level. That's what I used to do, and I hope it's normal because that's my third cycle in crypto, third bull market. But yeah, making $1 million actually, we're supposed to get back to that. It doesn't change much. I would say like the biggest change you have in your life is when you start to have $10,000 a month. But now with inflation and stuff like that, that increased everywhere. I don't even know what it would be the same. Probably 20 or 15, like I would say. But like when I reached the $10,000 a month, that makes some change. And the thing is, crypto, making your first million is not that hard, but keeping it, that's where it's way harder. So if you build some solid things around, that's going to be good. Because when I made my first million, then after a few months later, I didn't have my million anymore. So it was a bit of an existential crisis. Because if you're not millionaire today on YouTube making videos, then what are you, right? But now it's back on, and I think I'm going to be able to make at least another $1 million this year. And I will show you how, because you can check the codes, and every coins I talked about in the previous video, if someone wants to put down the work, they will understand that we did pretty well so far. We did pretty well so far with on-chain analysis, and I think that's probably, this bull market is probably going to be the one where on-chain analysis is going to have the biggest alpha. The next one, I think more people will know about it, but this one, so fucking time. That's it. So making $1 million is cool, but it's not that cool as well. A lot of problem comes with it. You have to manage people. You have to manage finances, stuff like that. And then you can even forget to do what you love to do. And I became the CEO like that, like more than 10 people, like salespeople and stuff like that. But I was not thriving it like now with doing my own chain analysis alone with my crew. That's about it. I hope I gave every information that was important. That's why maybe it would have been better in an interview. Anyway, it was a pleasure. This is Antoine from Handsome Finance. And you can check out this video. That's where I talk about how I make my first money with Uber without ever driving an Uber or doing a delivery. I did something a bit sneaky, and that's kind of what I do. I try to find a breach and go in. But anyway, don't forget what's in. Yeah, that's true. You know what? I bought this matcha. I didn't even want it to drink matcha. I was like, I can't do the video without a matcha. And I'm glad I did. Fucking love this shit. All right. See you in the next one. Ciao. Stay handsome, of course.